It happens.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Animation Revaluation Podcast. I am your host, Lizer, and with me, as always, are Jay and James. What's up, guys?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Going good, going good. Model popped up, good. I'm in the correct
Nice.
position, nice. And you guys are popping up, nice. We'd love to
Perfect.
see it.
Love to see it.
Yeah, everything's working out. And thank you so much to what is this name? J Senpai 17? Sounds like a fucking scrub. Subscribe to tier 1 for 5 months. Let's go. What a waste of your money to throw it at me.
But he appreciates it nonetheless.
No, I don't.
That's one way to talk to your moderator.
What are you gonna do? Ban me from my own chat?
Yes.
You literally cannot. You have no power over me.
He doesn't mean anything that he's saying right now. He loves and appreciates everybody here.
False. Eat my ass. Oh man, what's up, guys? How have you guys been this week?
I've been sick for like the last 4 days. I
Wow,
like to
really?
say.
I had no idea. It's almost like we rescheduled or something.
Maybe it's the heat, because I'm also getting a little sick, but it's just because it's been hot for a few days.
Have you guys tried not getting sick? I heard it
Nah,
works.
I need to change my immune system, so I gotta
Oh.
go. I gotta go in for that.
I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, when you replace water with Gatorade, like it doesn't slap as hard as water.
Fucking what? What do you mean
There's a
replace?
It was reference a movie.
What do you mean
Forgot the name.
replace? Like,
Well, just because in the movie they replaced the, I guess they put two people in a, kind of like a time thing, and then they ended up going in the future, but everybody's dumb because they're feeding all the plants Gatorade and they're not growing.
yeah, you're talking about Idiocracy.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. But anyways,
You just. I'm gonna miss you, man. I'm gonna miss you, man. My guy's literally here describing a movie he's never seen.
Dude, bro, I'm deep in the TikTok hole. I'm seeing shit I've never seen before, and I'm I was like, oh, I kind of know this, but I don't know this.
Yeah, Idiocracy's it's a pretty good movie. Scary how accurate it became, but yeah.
I know.
So yeah, one of you sick, the other one talking about Idiocracy. I've just been working, man.
Getting that bread.
Yes, sir.
As
Getting-
you should.
Getting that paycheck and watching it immediately disappear from my account. You love it.
Pain.
Like literally, bro. Wake up, check bank account. Oh, that's nice. Bye.
Hey, goodbye.
Yeah, I literally got paid on the first of the month and it was just gone. It's like, oh.
Oh, pain. You do hate to see it.
Yeah. But at least the bills are paid, so like I have a roof over my head. That's nice.
Yes.
I do prefer to have it that way.
I think a lot of people prefer to have it that
Yeah.
way, nevertheless.
Yeah.
With your sponsorship, you will support this man and give him a lovable home that he deserves.
Literally
Give
like
this-
a cat in a cardboard box.
Yeah,
It's just you.
give this cat boy a home.
It's like they sponsor. It's like do they sponsor cat boys? It's like they like give it the face. It's just like they look over the box. It's like.
G Fuel won't sponsor me because they're scared of being accused of animal testing.
Damn. They do you like that? It's like, you guys understand. I'm not a real
Please.
cat.
You sponsored Stuffy, she's a fucking raccoon. What difference is there? Please, I want money.
Yeah, free stuff.
Please, give me merchandise.
Give me stickers.
Yeah. Just instantly become like a kindergartner whenever I get stickers. Like,
Just start sticking
oh,
them everywhere.
dead ass, bro. I 100% do.
It's like the window. There's like one on the monitor, one on the PCs.
I literally just look to my right and I have a G Fuel sticker, an Ironside one, Unis Honest, and the Apple logo on my
The
wall.
Apple look. Nice.
The eye wall. Let's go.
It slowly moves towards the host at any time.
But yeah, 10 minutes in, we should probably start talking about what we watched this week.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. This was your episode. Yep.
So this past week we ended up watching Data Live, and Data Live is, yeah, I'd say a pretty casual thing for 2013.
Yeah.
It's like your natural disaster. Well, I wouldn't say natural, but like phenomena to say.
Yeah.
So it's like scientific phenomena. But it basically starts off giving like I guess a brief like summary of like what happened like the last, I'd say, like 30 years. It's something called a spatial quake. Spatial quake is exactly what it fucking sounds like, except that it deletes space. Not only does it destroy any kind of like matter around it, could be buildings, people, structures, even some like the dirt, depending on where it is. And from that point on, they have the city, or Eurasia, as it's deemed, has precautions taken for now all of these spatial quakes that happen currently. um so our main character, Shido Itsuka, he is woken up by his sister Katori, and is not a fan because she's a little shit.
He doesn't seem like it though. Her personality is like 180.
I'll get to that in a second.
My bad. It's just so like I just didn't talk about it, but like as soon as I saw it, I was just so shocked. But go ahead.
But this is a Katori with white hairband. Hairband? Ribbon?
Ribbon.
Ribbon. And she's like, hey, wake up, and like jumping up the bed and shit. Fucking jumped on his fucking stomach.
His fucking sternum.
I was convinced for a second that he died, like while in his bed. And she's like, hey, it's like time for school. Also, I'm hungry. Wake up. You know, you're a normal little shit.
Time for
Your
school.
little sister. Yeah, it's like your normal little sister stuff. And he's pretty much had enough, and decides to scare the shit out of his sister. And he's like, the T virus is gonna happen. And I was like, what year is this? And why are we making this reference? But essentially, it was like, let me get 10 more minutes of sleep, or the tickle virus takes over my body. And Katori is like, uh-oh, that ain't good. I don't like that. And she fucks off to the living room and hides behind the couch.
She flips the table.
Yeah, I was tables like flipped, on the behind the couch. She like moved the couch, and I was like, huh, okay.
I want to talk about why, like, in the first 10 seconds of her being on screen, they flashed her
Nope.
panties like 8 times.
I was not okay. I forgot about that.
It's like, why did this happen? This isn't even that kind of show.
No, it progressed so far from what it is now.
It's like, what the fuck is this?
I was like, I was not okay with that at all.
You needed
But
the money.
I guess that's how it sold.
So yeah, let's show like one of the least waifu characters.
But Shida eventually comes out, and reassures his sister that everything is a-okay after seeing that she flipped the fucking table. And she's like panicking, like heavy breathing, like horror movie type, like behind some when you're hiding behind something. Like she was visibly scared. I assume that she just doesn't like being tickled, or Shida when he's taken over by the T virus, and decides, hey, what do you want for breakfast? And I don't think she decided on anything, but like he just started cooking, and she like pulls out a lollipop at like fucking 7 a.m.
All day, every
and
day.
yeah, and it was just like, He's like, hey, you know you can't have that, right? And he gave up like immediately because she wouldn't give.
I'm gonna beat my ass.
For real. And I conversed for a little bit, and it's like, hey, what do you want for lunch? I'm also gonna make lunch, while making breakfast. And she's like, something from it's like something from a restaurant menu rather than
Like
like
the
something that they had in
deluxe
the house.
kids meal or something like that.
Yeah. It was just like, you can only get that from a restaurant. I don't have that here. It's like, no. And then she was like, please.
But I want it. Oh, alright then.
He knew that was a fight he wasn't gonna win.
He apparently can't win any fight with her.
Yeah. But they have breakfast together, and they leave and head to school. This comes to a point where they head in separate directions. She goes to her school, he goes to his, but they stopped in front of what I like to say, Danny's. He's like, I looked at it, was like, where have I seen that before? It's Denny's.
What, you mean the Denny's parking lot at 3 a.m.? Let's go.
But they make a promise to meet here for lunch whenever it's lunchtime, and Shida promises his little sister, and they go their separate ways. Runs into where I think it's like 3 different girls from his school, and it's like, damn. So the things that they were saying about him was true. It's like they had like a siscon fetish or something like that. And then they noticed like some, it's like, I think it was origami.
Yeah.
A little fuzzy. It was just like eyeing Shida like from a alleyway. And immediately I was like, I remember how all of this started again. It was like, that's a stalker. It's like, oh, cool.
Wasn't she hiding behind like a telephone pole or something? Like, still completely visible?
Yeah.
Like, how does he not notice her?
It's not
Logic.
meant for him to know. It was never meant for him to know. But little fast forward to the classroom. Um, Shido sits down at his desk. Um, Friend of his, I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. It's the one with the smartphone out.
Oh, Hiroto.
Hiruto, thank you. Um, and he's like, bro, my girlfriend is like once I forgot what it was. It was like I got a girlfriend or something like that. He's like, when did you do that? And then whips out his phone, and it's a whole dating sim.
Mood.
I was, I was like, this is the most sad but almost relatable thing I've seen in the first like 10 minutes.
Me with the gacha waifus.
And I believe Shido sits down. I think Kitori sits in front of him, I believe. And Origami sits like immediately to his right. Shido sits by the window, by the way.
Main character. Let's go.
But I think he also like not that I think she knows him by like name, and he's like, who are you again? It's like, and it gets broken down that Origami is the super genius of the school. It's like the smartest person in the school, or at least in their grade, I believe. It's one of those.
Feels weird that he didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like that feels a little weird and misplaced.
Yeah, like my guy's life started on episode 1 of this anime.
Knows absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Like, oh, the girl who sits next to me is the smartest girl in class. I'd never heard of her.
And I think that's like pretty much is besides, Origami pretty much staring this man down for the majority of the class, not actually doing work. But lunchtime does come around eventually, and the precautions that I had mentioned before for a spatial quake, they start happening. The teacher, wow, I can't believe I forgot about the teacher. But they had like I believe it was I think the Tammy.
Yeah.
But so this was a teacher that all the kids in the class have had before. Either like she moved up in grade with them or whatnot.
Best character.
She's your typical kind of airheaded teacher, but also very out there. She's an interesting character to say
Yeah.
the least.
Yeah. Best character for the first 5 episodes at least.
Yeah.
But she immediately starts panicking. Like she's the only one panicking
Stay
during
calm.
this emergency. She's like, everyone stay calm. She's like fucking pacing back and forth. Like she's the embodiment of panic, if anything.
I think even students tell her to chill out.
Yeah. He's like Miss Tammy, it's okay, everything's gonna be fine, but you need to calm down.
Like no one's panicking, and only she's panicking, telling everybody not to panic.
Yeah. And the evacuation starts, and Shido checks his phone, opens the GPS, and immediately notices that Katori's phone track is like the ping from the phone is like at the Dan. I keep trying to say
Danny's.
Danny's.
She
Like
was literally like, I'll
off.
wait for you there, even if there's a
Even if
spatial
there's
quake.
a spatial quake.
Like,
And
why?
he's like,
why?
why was that oddly specific? She really wanted her Danny's.
That ass, bro. Wanted that grand slam.
And ignoring like anyone or most faculty. You don't get to see much faculty in this school. So he just basically fucking books it to the Dannies and
How did no
gets
one
there.
stop him?
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Like how? Like not even police in the street or anything. Like you'd think they would be guiding people towards shelters.
No. What made it really uncanny was that when it started, like there was, I believe, like a gas station or something, and it was just an old person and like two other people like standing there, and it would just like go underground.
Yeah,
And it was just like, so this is just natural. This is just normal, huh?
yeah. This is just happening. All right.
This is just a natural occurrence.
I think it's just more like they have a procedure and they're just like, well, go down here or stay up and die. Your choice.
Yeah.
So it's just pretty much just more like, no, it's just kind of like, look out, kind of like, not like look out for yourself because they're looking out by setting up these procedures, but that's it. So I'm like, there's only so much that they could do, especially for a mass of people. So they're just like, go in this bunker or do this so you won't die because there's nothing we can do to, because they don't know how to stop it from happening, so that they just, that's all they can do.
I'm more
And
shocked that they even have the facilities to do this stuff, or like even went out of the way to make it so like the whole gas station went underground, because you know that shit would not be developed in real life.
No, not at all.
No.
The same thing with the trains. Like it just took the whole train underground.
Yeah, the whole Shinkansen.
I was like, oh, okay.
Like shit, I'm gonna be late for my stop. Fuck.
I mean, I like, if, from what makes it seem like, it doesn't seem like it's pretty advanced, but like they're pretty advanced, like in the story with everything that goes on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But Shido ends up getting caught like above ground when the spatial creek actually happens. Oddly enough, nothing happened to him really.
Gets like knocked down, right?
Yeah, he just gets blown back again into like a rock or two, and appears in front of Shido as the first spirit, Princess. Princess with her big fucking sword, Sandalphon, and her first question to him is, are you here to kill me? And he's just like, no, not really. I don't even know why I'm here. I was just looking for my sister and whatnot. But she's just convinced that, you know, he's just here to try to hurt her and whatnot.
Woman, am I right?
Okay. Okay. And you know, she's very hostile, very like,
Woman, am
yeah.
I right?
It just hits you. My God. No. She then gets attacked by the actual people that are trying to kill her. AST, or the, I believe it's the anti-spirit team, something like that. But basically a bunch of women in like, I'd say mech suits, but it's just mech armor. Doesn't really cover much. But that he also notices someone from his class as one of these units, and he's like, uh-oh, that can't be good. He's like, am I seeing this shit right? Am I like, it's like, why is she here of all people? And they're like, well, we found her, deal with her immediately because she is a threat to everyone. And you know, for 2013, I'm not too picky about the fight scenes. They actually are done pretty well.
Yeah, they still hold up.
Unironically, they get better as it goes on.
Oh, for sure.
But they do hold up. I think that was one of the reasons why I really like this anime stuck as well. Is just the fluidity of the fight scenes. They do not care.
Didn't like a different studio do every season?
Uh, I believe so.
That's pretty cool.
And it's still and it was all fluid too.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I'm not um I forgot what happened with this first iteration or this first encounter. I, I know she ends up like getting away for sure. Like she just disappears. But then it's like um Princess ends up disappearing, I believe, after using like most of her energy. Because we find out that, you know, they go back to a select like origin space before they come back and cause another spatial quake. Not on purpose though.
Yeah, it just happens.
Space, it just happens when they come back from said place. Um, I guess this has been like a couple of days or so, because what caught me was how fast they would fix all the buildings and stuff. It'd be like massive holes in the ground, and it's just like, where I get the money for this, and how fast did y'all do it? This whole cityscape being blown to smithereens.
Yeah, that concrete ain't set yet.
But
He gets knocked out.
he gets knocked out and wakes up in like infirmary basically, aboard the airship Fraxinus. Fraxinus. This is a whole airship that's cloaked and directly above the Dannies. Shido wakes up and is met by Rene. Rene is one of the I forgot what specific she. I believe she's an analyst for the Fraxinus and the the organization that works within it. Hmm. Um, she goes on to say that she's not certified, but can do like basic first aid. She does like, where the fuck am I? She explains it and tells him that someone's been waiting to meet with him. And she takes him to the like the command center of the ship. And sitting in the captain's chair is Kotori, but with black ribbons in her hair. And it's the most condescending little shit that you'll ever meet. And this is a whole personality change to the Kotori that Shido actually knows, and it's just a shock to him. He's like, "What happened to you?" It's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "You're Kotori, right?" And he's like, "You don't recognize the face of your own little sister?" He's just like,
With how flabbergasted he was, though, I'm surprised how quickly he just accepted it.
yeah. He was just like, "Well."
Yeah, he only questions it for like that first minute. Like, you're not gonna call me bro anymore? Then he's just immediately annoyed with her.
Yeah.
Just that's how it stays.
He's then introduced to why why he's like in the fractionist ship, and basically the whole idea of the spirit. They explain like what princess is, what she is necessarily, and why he's needed. And basically they break it down to him, and it's like, hey, we need you to basically make these spirits fall in love with you. So it'd make it easier to seal their powers so they don't really harm people to stop these spatial quakes from happening. And so you can save basically their life and they can live normally. And he's just like, with everything considered, he was like, you know what, fuck it, sure. But how? And can't believe it was the fucking dating sim. Would have never thunk it.
Can't believe his sisters in the dating sim both just like color swapped.
But his friend would be a pro at it.
It makes me worried though, considering that they said he was like a syscon earlier,
Yeah.
and he immediately got into the dating sim. It's like, oof, I don't know how to feel about that.
It's like, here's your training. It's literally the dating sim his friend was playing, and he stayed up for hours. Oh man. Um, it's like the next like 2 episodes is basically his next like interaction with Princess. Given, you know, he's trying to persuade her, hey, you should like be friends with me. You know, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not here to hurt you. You know, we can get along just fine.
I'm not like those
And
other guys.
but this time the whole school's like, I guess not abandoned, but like cleared out because they predicted where the next spatial quake would be. And what do you know? Princess appears at the school grounds. Cheetah's already there. They talk for a little bit. Then AST shows up. AST starts nuking the fuck out of the building with missiles and bullets. It's like,
Keep in mind that Shido's just a normal human.
yeah,
He doesn't have powers or anything.
and he's just on like this battlefield on this battleground, and he's just
He's there
like
in his school
nothing happened.
uniform. He doesn't even have armor or anything.
He's just like nothing's happening. All to talk to your girl.
Mood. Simp.
but but they talk for a little bit. Then I believe they use the dating sim to try to give Princess a name, so that it's not just like, she doesn't go nameless, and goes through the dating app or the dating sim, and it's like uh needs a new name, and his best friend was I believe put in Tome, and comes back up to Shido. Shido's like, your name could be Tillman. She doesn't like it like, at all.
No, I refuse.
And and then the name Toka was the next name that was brought up, and he showed her how to write it, and then she repeated it, and she liked it. It was better than Tome, so she accepted it. And she had basically broke down and was like, "Hey, you want to go on a date?" And it's like,
The fuck is
she
that?
didn't know what it was. Yeah, she didn't know what it was, but he was like, "Hey, follow me. Also, your clothes need to change." And he's like, something like this, pulls out a picture of origami that she gave him because he complimented her school uniform. And
Fucking autograph the picture.
it was just like, "Oh, okay, that's cool."
That whole conversation was wild between them when she did that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because it was
we can
like,
talk about that later.
it got real weird.
Yeah.
But Toka basically adopts school uniform, and now lives with Shido. Without him knowing, by the way. He's like, why is she here? And it's like, she lives with us now. It's like, okay,
Is she gonna
cool.
pay rent?
It's like, that never gets answered. But they Shido and Toka end up going out for it. I believe like the rest of that day, because ASC couldn't find her because the energy that they admit when they cause a spacequake from coming back didn't happen. So they got off scot-free for like an entire day. Cheeto took her around the city. That girl can. She loves food. It's like anything Cheeto could buy and was edible, she ate.
He's a glutton.
Yeah. Put it this way, you guys ever saw Kirby?
Yeah, that's about
Slap,
right.
slap a Kirby sticker on her face. Boom.
There you go. Yeah, she just doesn't take on powers from the food, I guess.
She just loves food. And honestly, that's a whole mood. But yeah, by the end of that, yeah, Toka lives with them in said house, and she has her own room
They just
with a
had like
nameplate on it.
extra rooms? What the fuck?
Yeah,
I feel like
we're-
this is probably like the same vibe as the fucking Monster Girl anime, where like the government is probably providing, compensation for this.
well, given the organization that Katori is part of, probably.
Yeah.
So the government knows. They're just like adding in modifications to the house as needed.
Wish our government gave us that kind of compensation.
I don't trust the government.
If they started with that, maybe a little bit.
You want an extra room? We're gonna put about 58 cameras in it. Why?
What the dog doing?
Like all you're gonna see me do is cry. Just the fuck
In
you
the
want to watch
corner,
that
not
for?
even using the entirety of the room.
Yeah.
Just one corner.
Yeah, just the cry corner, bro.
But you get Mickey D's every day.
McDonald's.
Or McDonald's if you're in Japan.
Bro, this Happy Meal ain't working.
Like what? It comes with a Data Live character.
But basically everything I described takes over like the first 3 episodes. It's just Shido and Toka. Episode 4 introduces the next spirit. Very kind of like briefly at the beginning, because by the name of Yoshino. Yoshino is with I believe is like the codename of Hermit, because again didn't like direct interaction. But Shido finds her like around the shrine. I'd assume around where he lives or just in the area, and she face plants. It's like literally raining outside. But helps her, the good person that Shido is, helps her up, gives her back her puppet that she walks around with. And the puppet talked back to Shido. He would
The way you
gosh, that
said
was
that.
just an acid trip.
The way you
That was
said that.
I would have fucking lost it, dude. But fucking Shido's been through some shit, so I wouldn't necessarily. But oh my god. But Um, basically, Shido helps her up. I think he gives her his umbrella. Or I think, yeah, because it's pouring. It's not like a normal amount of rain. It's fucking pouring.
It's typhoon.
Yeah, and gives her the umbrella. It's like, you should take it. You know, you'll probably need it more than I will. And he's like just running through the rain at this point. And oh, he was heading to school. That's what it was. He wasn't heading home. He was heading to school and fucking ran past fucking Yoshino. And then weird competition shtick between Toka and Origami in the classroom because they made cookies. And it's like, these are my cookies. You should eat them. And then the next girl's like, I also made cookies. Go away. You shouldn't be here.
Fuck off.
Yeah, he's like, this one's mine.
They're my cookies.
Um, but trying to think. This one was kind of spotty for me.
Yeah, I mean you could even just skip it and just say like history repeats itself. It's the same plot
It's
basically.
the same thing over and over. Yeah, he's gonna meet a new spirit, like give or take every time, except that they all have different issues. And Shido's always the band-aid for whatever issue it might be, whether they need a friend or, you know, they don't want to be lonely. Shido's main goal is to save the girls and save the world at
Yeah.
the same time.
And like even though he's, you know, he has to date them. Like take for example right here Yoshino. She doesn't take on like a girlfriend role. She's more like a little sister.
We cut out. Gone.
I cut out?
Yeah, just a
Uh-oh.
little bit.
I thought you cut out.
I don't know what happened. Something's happened.
Well, just in case, I'll repeat in case I cut out. All I said is I know he, you know, he dates the girls, but it's not always like a girlfriend thing. Like he dates them just to solve the issue. But like say,
suppress the power.
yeah, for example, Yoshino, she doesn't become like a girlfriend. She's more of a little sister to him. In case anyone was concerned about the fact that she looks like a fucking child.
I mean, sorta.
She ends up losing her puppet. Has a extreme mental breakdown. She's not
As one
happy
should.
about it. AST is also was just like, hey, what's that fuck shit going on? Oh, what the fuck?
Why'd you say it like that?
I don't know. Fucking, she controls blizzards, or can make a blizzard happen on a whim when she's upset, at the very least. And I wouldn't say that's the greatest thing for the environment.
But if it was like cold when it was hot, I think that would be pretty good.
But to pretty much wrap it up, she lost it after an encounter with the AST, and they ended up tracking Yoshinon to Origami's house. Found out Origami had it and kept it in her house. Goes through, like, basically this man jumps through hoops to get into her house. I forgot about that.
Go on.
She like jumping through hoops, and then has to pretty much explain to her, hey, not all spirits are bad. You know, there are some, absolutely, but Toka's not bad, Yoshino's not bad, and it's my job to protect them, make sure they're not killed, and they can live a normal life. But the interesting part was that Origami understood, given her tragedy of a backstory is that her parents were killed by spirits. But they don't get too much into it. And long story short, Shido gets Yoshino, the puppet, back to her. She calms down, and power is sealed for the time being.
Yeah.
No, there's one thing that I did want to touch upon was that after Shido had sealed Toka's powers, he then realized, or not really realized, but like he noticed that he could possibly use it. Like they touched on it very briefly by him explaining to Toka, he's like, hey, I need to borrow your power so I can save Yoshino. And they never touched on it again. Which kind of get back to it like later on though.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, here's a little hint of something that's to come.
Or shadow.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
So it becomes kind of like a standard thing for him to do later, right?
Yeah. Believe it or not.
Yeah. That pretty much wraps up the 5 though, right?
Yeah. It pretty much stops at Yoshino.
Yeah. So we didn't get to meet Best Girl, but that's fine.
No.
That means that there's something to look forward to. Like we were saying before, that conversation between Origami and Shido, where she gives him the picture. It's like, hey, do you want to go out with me? Sure. It's like, oh yeah, I've always liked you. I sniff your clothes when you go to gym. She's like, oh wow, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Fucking excuse me?
It's like, okay.
Can you repeat that, ma'am? It's crazy how down bad for him she is.
Yeah. And it's not even explained either.
No, she just is. Like, you know what? I appreciate it. It's refreshing to have it this way. Any points you wanted to touch on?
Besides the crew on the Fraxinus that pretty much feeds Shido his information while he's on his dates, are all people that have some kind of issue. One has like a restraining order against her. One has like he's a man of the night, kind of. He's like the CEO. I think one's just like a guy that just really loves like figurines. He's like a figurine collector. It's quite the colorful crew you have working in the Fraxinus for sure. But I got nothing. I do think this is just rewatching this is a little refreshing, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been a while since I checked it out because I'm not caught up. I think I stopped at the end of season 2 or the beginning of season 3. And like I didn't want to stop. I just like, you know, stuff happened and I just never caught back up. So it was nice to go through this again because it is a show that I enjoyed. I did want to talk about the you said that they were feeding him the information. So when they first tested it, when he was talking to the teacher, I thought that was hilarious, and she's like ready to marry him.
Yeah. she's like 20, she's 29 and was just like off the deep end.
It's just immediately like, oh, we can wait until you graduate and you can get a good job and I can retire and start having kids. It's just like, oh,
She's like, I'll be well over 30 by the time you're 18.
yeah.
I'm just like,
Pretty ideal right there. I gotta say.
It's called Christmas cake, apparently, is what they refer to in Japan. Like when a woman is like nearing her 30s and isn't married or has kids yet, they call it Christmas cake.
Because it's that much sweeter.
No, because it's usually limited time before it's bad.
Oh,
Because they consider like once you're in your 30s and you don't have that, you're kind of like wasted.
after a few days, I think it's still pretty good.
That's just how they perceive it over there.
Yeah.
Although I think that's changing as time goes on. But
30, flirty, and thriving.
why?
don't mind if I do.
How about you, James? Anything about the show you wanted to point out or talk about?
Well, I remember watching, I guess I finished season 3, but when I watched these 5 episodes, I was like, I remember these characters, but like not too much. But I guess I would have liked it if like I watched all these season 3. But there's a lot that I totally forgot about. And I was like, oh, okay, like I kind of get the look, like the first 5 episode kind of gives you kind of a premise of it. Like you can obviously see like where the studio kind of focused where their money is on. So because kind of maybe it could have been like a rough start for them of some sorts. So like they did what they like had to, and then like they kind of used it to kind of piggyback to where they wanted to be. So like I did. I mean, if only based on these 5 episodes, I'm like, I don't think not much has happened. Like, yeah, to kind of give it like a full basis. But I did like when you guys were making all these points about, like you were saying about that little foreshadowing thing in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I don't remember if he had like if he actually did get powers of those people, like of the spirits. I mean, I'm sorry. So I'm like, if he did that, I mean, I could see why like maybe that'd be more interesting. But like, I'm not 100% if that happens or not. But I obviously something happened. I imagine if like I did like watch it as far as I did, because I feel like there's a lot of like that means I think there's a movie, right? Like you guys said, and they're making another season for it or something.
It just finished.
Oh, I just finished.
Season 4.
I actually don't remember. There's more than 4 seasons though, right? It's just there's numbered seasons and there's like Data
There's a
Bullet
spin-off.
and spin-offs and
There's the
stuff.
spin-offs, the movies. There's the Data Bullet was really good too. Those are just 2 spin-off movies.
Yeah,
There's
so
that one. It's another one after that.
so whatever they're doing pretty successfully.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, so like I am looking forward to watching more of the season. Just kind of like remember why like I got into it, because I don't know, just based on the 5, I can't like you can't rate it too much in the over aspect of it.
It does become like a vastly different type of show later on. I will say that. So yeah, it kind of is hard to judge it based on how it is now.
Yeah. But if I had to rate it, I'll give it a 7. It was not too bad. I actually liked it. I like the incorporations with like what they did with the bunny character. Like they made that bunny more into I guess like a part of her instead of like just a thing that made her like look cute, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I feel like he like levels up with that, like, or gets in a more symbiotic relationship with that bunny or something, or I kind of forget. But I'll have to watch and see.
Yeah, I don't remember either, to be honest. I actually don't really recall how far I've gotten. I know I got past Best Girl, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any of the movies. Um,
No.
I distinctly remember back in like Call of Duty Black Ops 2, you could like make your own player card using
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah shapes and stuff, and I made a Yoshino one for a friend, and it took me like maybe an hour to do it, and it came out really good, I'm not gonna lie. And then as payment, she bought me all the DLC for the game. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was really into the show around that time too. Um, but just based off of this 5, I probably would say, yeah, I'd probably also say 7, just for the first 5. It definitely gets better later on. It's not so serious right now, and then suddenly, like, I think it's halfway through season 1, it just takes a turn and becomes a much more serious show.
Yeah, it's once Best Girl's introduced and it starts like picking up real quick.
Like
Yeah, I
it
feel
picks
like
up before that, but she does like some mind fuck shit, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah, she gives. I think as far as I remember from her, she does give it a darker tone,
Yeah.
even though like it may like not seem like it. It's just maybe just like part of her character.
Yeah, it's like inherent with her. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say also a 7. I did enjoy it. And being that we watched these first 5, I'm probably gonna re-watch everything, and try to catch up, like in my free time.
You should invite me to those free times.
Most likely
I'd
it'll
never
be
pass up
when
a
I'm
chance.
like
At
overnight
work.
at work.
Yeah. That's fair. But yeah. Day life. So goes as hard as I remember. Um I can give it an 8. I still really like it. It's been years, but I'm still here.
I'm still going.
Yeah. One thing that I definitely forgot to mention is the abrupt mispronunciation of Shido's name. There's a reason for that. They just don't touch on it immediately. There's a reason why Rene calls him Shin. But
Ooh.
um I love everything about it. First 5 still kept my attention from start to finish.
Oh yeah.
That that's always something I do appreciate. Relevancy and the characters interacting with one another. Toka having her temper tantrum because she saw Shido kiss Yoshino, and she started questioning herself, and she's like, "What kind of person is Shido?" And had a heart to heart with Rene. The anime has the whole 9 yards, and all the works. But go watch this ish.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I 100%, yeah, I recommend. Alright, so if there's nothing else about this show, shall we move on?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so before I announce next week's episode, what the basis will be on, just gonna reiterate that we are having changes here on the podcast. I mentioned it last week. Starting next week, James will no longer be a permanent part of the show. He's free to come back whenever he wants. But he will no longer be like permanent host. He's not going to be on every episode. If ever coming back, it's up to him. Personal reasons I won't get into on stream. But yeah, there's going to be a change. I don't know if we're going to have a new host come in. I would like to, just to help the dynamic a little more, so it's not just two people talking to each other. Just so there's like an extra person to bounce off of. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing, a guest, or if it's even going to happen at all. So just bear with us while we deal with that. James, anything you wanted to say?
Yes. Well, first I want to say thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Almost been a year has it been like 7 months, 8 months since October? But it was pretty fun. I really liked it. I didn't obviously I didn't prepare anything for this goodbye or anything.
Speech.
But if you guys ever have free time to watch any of these shows that you guys like, feel free to hit me up anytime.
Yeah, of course, man.
And then if I'll come back, I'll just ask, and then we'll see. But I'm just signing off for a bit.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like I told you before, I'm not taking you out of the server or anything like I've done in the past. You're always free to come in. You can host watch parties if you want, whatever you want to do. Feel free to use the server for whatever, and you're always welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Likewise.
Yeah. I will say, and I'm not gonna get all fucking like, you know, just sobby or anything like that. But you know, James, you've been a very close friend of mine for a very long time now, like one of my oldest friends at this point. And it used to be a thing of like we would talk every day, and that doesn't really happen anymore. Just because of, you know, life stuff, people get too busy, our schedules don't always match up, so we don't always have time to do that. So having you on the podcast was nice because we got to interact more often again on a regular basis. Hopefully that doesn't change. You know, I'm gonna try to keep in contact with you more often, man.
No, yeah, likewise. It's not really a problem just on you. It's usually just a problem with me. I'd want to, but just life in the way. I just forget, and just so much time goes by, and
I'm just living life in the fast lane. I'm riding my motorcycle.
pretty much. Even though even if it may not seem like that, it kind of is, but it isn't. But you're not trying to be, and it's just, I don't know.
I feel you, man. All good. But yeah, enough of that. Let's go into what we'll be watching next week. So we're actually going off of a recommendation here.
Oh.
Yeah. I was told a little bit about what this was. I'm not gonna say anything right now because I want it to be a surprise. Because you probably wouldn't expect some of the things just based off of this image. But the anime is called Dororo.
Oh.
And based on what I've seen, we're in for some shit.
Oh.
And I mean that in a good way.
And
we're in for some like interesting
this looks familiar
twists. Apparently it was like a classic, and then was remade in like 2019. So we'll be watching the 2019 one.
Okay.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. I'm kind of hyped just to see some things that I saw clips of.
All I know is sword hands.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah. Alright, so if that's all, see you guys next week.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.